St. Paul doesn't landfill,
Okay.
its garbage. In Ramsey County, it goes towards refuse-derived fuel. I think currently residents like the freedom of choice, that they can pick and choose a hauler and they don't have to have one assigned to their home. That a number of people change haulers or shop around for a more competitive price. People felt very strongly about supporting the smaller independent garbage hauler. They were worried about the larger monopolies controlling the garbage. They wanted to support the small independent businesses.
It's vastly more expensive to have all of these trucks come through and pick up every fifth or sixth person and then go a block over and pick up one person there than if one hauler were doing it all.
Minnesota Pollution Control Agency recently did a report on and looked at cities that had open hauling and found that the prices were really high, that they varied by hauler.
Well, I'm a resident of St. Anthony Park in St. Paul, and I've watched with dismay as all these trucks come through my neighborhood for a long time, and lived in a city before this where the city hauled all the garbage and it was part of your tax bill. And I'm quite sure it's more expensive here than it was there to have that service provided.
St. Paul's had open hauling for probably more than 40 years. I think there was a large conversation in the 70s about whether they should municipalize or have city crews do the garbage collection. And under Mayor George Latimer at the time, I think the decision was made to keep it in the private sector. Garbage is regulated under the Interstate Commerce Clause, and so you have to follow very clear rules and guidelines and if you were going to be changing your system.
It's noisy. It's inconvenient. 7 trucks pass down the alley behind my house every week.
There has been complaints about the number of vehicles on the streets. It's clearly one of them. I think people have been concerned also about the wear and tear on the streets.
A study done in Roseville showed that, by the Pollution Control Agency, showed that the cost in wear and tear on pavement in streets and alleys is between $20 and $40 per household per year, up to $300,000 for the city per year. And so I know that the pollution, the particulate pollution from these diesel truck engines, is a real threat to public health. Something over 24,000 people a year die early because of particulates in the air. Something over 24,000 people a year die early because of particulates in the air. Well, diesel truck engines and off-road diesel engines in things like construction and agricultural equipment are a major source of particulates too. About 2% of the vehicle fleet in the country is diesel trucks, and they contribute 1/4 of the particulate matter pollution from vehicles. So they're dirty. Now,
with the budget the way it is, the city has not engaged in that conversation at this point, but I think that it's going to be an issue that I would say in the near term, the next couple of years we'll most likely take a look at again. If the city embarks on this, they would do a very, I think, a thoughtful, well-researched kind of community process, which would require a number of public meetings in each of the neighborhoods. There would have to be some research and analysis done by, the city staff or a consultant. There would be, yes, lots of public conversation and lots of public engagement and looking at the pros and cons of just even designing a system, and then they would have to go out for bid on the actual implementation of the process. We've seen a number of neighbors in some neighborhoods are coordinating garbage service themselves. They're kind of coordinating that, see if a hauler would bid on 10 households on a block and trying to see if they can get a more competitive rate.
Waste Management, for example, who was my hauler then, would offer a 25% discount if we could get 25 people in one small area, according to their definition of a contiguous area. Each of the people who agreed to be part of that group would save 25% on their bill. That would be ideal. Maplewood is looking to do this. They're hoping to get 2 haulers. It will be a designated pair of haulers who have all of the market. We could save a lot of money by consolidating.